why. I'm sorry, I had it up and then it fell over and What's up, everyone? Happy freaking Friday. It's Friday then, Saturday, Sunday. Tonight we're gonna do some Tales from the Crypt. I should have had my Hecate card up. I could bring it up, it doesn't really matter. For tonight's teaching. In order to keep up with me, you would have to see what I put in my community page. And pretty much we're just starting kind of a new lesson, I guess. I talk to dead people. I'm going to talk to you about that. I remembered on the way up the elevator, I have a brand new book about this that I never pulled out. Why did you never pull it out? Because the first page told us not to read that book. Because I was trying to explain to you guys about it, what I do. The first page told you not to read that book till we read this book, but we read plenty of this book, and you're going to have to go find some of those teachings. I'm not reading another book just to get started. Give me a second here. I do need to get started, though. Grab something to drink. So, what's up, everyone? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, light worker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil, messenger of God, the first child of God, the Lilith reincarnated. Hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about talking to dead people and shit. We're gonna talk about spirits and shit. My only friends. You got a friend in me. Alright. So I'm getting extremely comfortable. I'm ripping off pants and everything. I'm like, no, and no. Okay, please. Before I get started, I want to say one thing. I don't contact spirits. They contact me. Okay? I've never did an invocation to a spirit and asked them to come in to my, you know what I mean? They just walk up on me. Why? Because of what my spirit is. Okay, so, where to start? Let's talk about your psychic abilities. Let's start with something simplistic, and we'll go a little deeper in that. So, this book teaches you how to develop them, blah, 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 blah. Few terms and definitions. Here are some definitions and a few terms I use in this book to help you more easily grasp the exact content of what is being discussed. Thought. Thoughts create everything. Thought is energy, and once created can never be destroyed. Stop. How often do I tell you that there's nothing in my mind? I don't sit around thinking. Once I see a vision, I put my energy to that vision, which becomes a thought. I give it thought energy. Not much. Stuff outside of me, no. I have to see something to actually care. And even then, I can just see it and not care. Once I start thinking about it, I started giving it my energy. Now it's become, I'm involved in it. I'm entangled in this energy. Minding your business is probably the most important thing you can do going forward. Alright? Energy can be altered to a different kind of energy, but it can never be destroyed. It always exists somewhere, in some form. As a psychic, you will use your thoughts to contact others through a cosmic consciousness. You will use your thoughts to cause things to happen. A word to the wise. Be careful what you allow yourself to think about. I think you can figure out why. And that's it. I can't give no energy to anger. I can't visualize. I don't visualize. It's not that I can't. I don't. I don't have any visualizations of any kind of actions towards another. I don't have any predictions. I don't visualize. And that's what I tell you. Manifestation is all thought. Where do you put your thoughts? I don't have any visions. And I put my direction in those visions. That's why I'm such a master manifester. And the thoughts are, you know what I mean, useless. I'm getting over comfortable here, I'll tell you what. Okay. Psychic ability. Psychic ability is ability to gain access to information, energy, or power in the cosmic conscious, and to utilize that information, energy, or power you obtain. Okay, the cosmic conscious. It's going to break it down into a definition, but that's the oneness. Everything is there. Everything comes to one. And from there, that's where everything comes out of, right? Cosmic conscious. It is the total intelligence, awareness, creativity, and power within all universes. You are a tiny part of the cosmic conscious, as is every other creature that exists, or ever existed, or ever will exist. Our Creator has given us the privilege of being part of the Creator's domain, which is the cosmic conscious. By exercising our psychic sense, we can interact with various intelligences in the cosmic conscious. That is how I'm able to access beings like the Palladians and shit. Just being in there. I don't come to them. I tried to explain this to you. Once your pineal gland turns on, it sends out a frequency, it sends out a radar. And anybody, anything of the spirit realm can come and fuck with you, depending on who you are. Again, me and my spiritual, because of my spiritual ranking, it's the highest level. Okay, your brain. Your brain is a physical part of your body, essentially the supercomputer with fantastic memory. Not mine. Your brain dies when your body dies. We'll discuss the brain function relates to your psychic sense later in the book. Then there's your mind. Your mind is the total intelligence that is you. Your mind is not physical. Your mind never dies. Your mind is not your brain. Your mind uses your brain as a communication between you and other intelligences in the cosmic conscious. The higher mind, or the superconscious mind. These are terms I sometimes use to refer to the part of the cosmic conscious that is the communications link between your mind and the cosmic conscious. What is that? That would be your chakras in essence. Again, everybody has a language to all of this. How do you connect? They're saying it's through your mind. I don't use my mind. So that's impossible. I mean, in essence, it circulates through there, and I navigate it to places.
It's only at 14. It's only going up 4 times.
I don't know. The subconscious mind. This is the part of your mind that utilizes specific brainwave frequencies range for a variety of psychic functions. More on this later. And that's what I work out of, is the subconscious mind frequencies. Entity. This refers to a non-physical intelligent being, a mind without a body, such as a ghost, angel, etc. The sixth sense, intuition, creative ability, and psychic abilities. See Chapter 3. I use all these terms interchangeably with the same intentional meaning. Okay, that's just the beginning of this. I'm not getting into all of that, but those are just some ideas you wanted, some definitions to put out there. All right, we're going to jump over into my Wiccan book, and we're going to go back to where I was before, and we're going to talk about nature, spirits, and other invisible helpers. I want to talk about the good before we get into the dark. Nearly all ancient cultures have taught that humans have invisible helpers who exist on another plane of existence, but are capable of influencing and helping people on the earth plane. A variety of names have been used to describe these beings. For example, the Greek philosopher Socrates wrote, he frequently communicated with his daemon, which is not the same word as demon, although it is considered so in the Webster's definition. According to the works of Socrates, it was more closely connected to what we call guardians or spiritual teachers. The description witches give their teachers or helpers are almost identical in the Orthodox Church. Teach are angels. They come down from a matter of somatics. Most of the astral companions, by whatever name you call them, are basically human in form and thought, but can see farther into the future or into the past than we can, but are still not unfathomable and all-knowing. These beings can work more easily and quickly with astral energies than humans can. They can be indestructible, helping us to open an ancient knowledge and new experiences such as astral travel. They can be healers, and they know whom to contact on their level for healing. They are comforting in times and in fear of sorrow, strict when we keep breaking universal rules, protective when we find ourselves in danger. There are 3 basic classes of guides or teachers. Most guides or teachers have been incarnated in a human form at some time in history. You can hear me put the book down every time I do this. Who talks to me? All of the greats of history. Yes or no? Do my family members or friends or yours come to talk to me? No. When I reach out to you and I tell you that God's, you know what I mean? That the spirit, I can either tell you it's God or I can tell you a specific name. So right now I'm seeing Martin Luther King when he reached out to me the day of the Bronco game and encouraged me to go do this service. Okay, a lot of them that have taken human form, but that's not the only ones. Now, I want to stop right there because this all started with a morning video going after these punk-ass, fake-ass, weak-ass, gay-ass tarot readers. This is for you, baby boy. This whole session right here is for you and your friends. Okay? So, Wolfman's friend Gary, I've already attacked him on this multiple times. His label, and I got Wolfman and he stopped putting those bullshit ass labels on his shit. He said some shit that he was a magician. He said some shit that he was this. He said some shit, take that shit off. That's not what you is. So he did. His friend Gary, and his little dog too, had put up there that he was a psychic shamanic. What are his shamanic practices, rituals, and ceremonies that give him such powers? What gods does he pray to? What is his, you know what I mean? What is his practice? Now, going back to it, these intuitives. An intuitive means somebody that can go by their gut feelings. They're not psychic. They have no abilities. They just go by their guts. And you look at them. If they have a fat gut, then they're not really going by their feelings. Why would they be fat? It's so simplistic. It's their fucking chakras. They're holding weight because they're holding secrets. I'm not saying you can only trust a skinny person because they're starving themselves for your attention. It's a complete thing. In the essence of. Don't judge a book by its cover. I don't. I read it. Every fucking layer of it. In the essence of. Going back to it. So this is where this all starts. Tarot readers claim to have some kind of abilities. But their abilities are nothing but the cards and taking them at face value. And they don't have a meaning behind the card. They don't even read the oracle, the directions, nothing. And yet you run to them and ask them for advice. Love advice, if anything. How many of them are married and have gone through an awakening and have any of this? They don't speak of any such things. You think just because they have some cards, they have some abilities. They don't speak to ancestors. They don't pray to gods. They don't do rituals and ceremonies. They don't do any kind of spiritual, evolutionary, you know what I mean, work or any of the journey. Because ultimately, and I will keep saying this till the day I die, 56 years, the easy identifier to the non-spiritualist is their material world. The more they lavish their material world, the more they are not spiritual. The more you walk in the flesh, the less spirit you're walking in. Because the spirit does not concern itself with anything of the flesh. The spirit knows the flesh is temporary. This is just a vehicle that I'm here to ride it on. It's not about making this vehicle feel good or look good. It's just making it to the end. The flesh wants all of that. It wants the validation. It wants the admiration. It wants the attention. It wants to be fulfilled in all areas of its life. The soul has one purpose. What is my purpose here? To spread the word. Have God's children. Build God's kingdom. Ask any of these tarot readers what their spiritual purpose is, their service in the spiritual world that they work in. They do not have the capability of consorting with any type of spirits to begin with, so they're not spiritual. They don't pray to a god of any type. Their cards are their gods, and I'm here to teach you one suit at a time. Starting tomorrow, we'll go back to, maybe tonight, if I'm fueled with the fire, we'll pick back up in our cups. But I've already done 3 videos to teach you the major arcanas and the beginning of the cups. You have the power to take it away from them and learn this on your own. But I'm showing you that this is the extreme, this is the end of their power. It's the end of their practice. And you have the ability to take away their practice and practice your own and perfect this for yourself with the right teachings. But this is all about that. A bunch of people saying that they have any access to the craft. The only way you can access the craft is to fucking to burn the flesh. You can Google witch, bro. You can Google all kinds of fucking spells, bindings, hexes, and all that shit. All you're doing is causing karma to your flesh. Because that's your flesh acting out that would do such a thing. I just want to point that out. They don't have any spiritual grounding. None of them pray to a specific god or any gods. None of them have rituals that they do regularly, which would keep them on a practice. Know this. Most astral companions, by whatever name you call them, blah, 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 these beings can work more easily and quickly, blah, blah, blah. They can be healers, blah, blah, blah. The three basics, where were we? The later beings of shining light are sometimes called angels. However, the original term, shining ones, was applied to deities, guardians, and ethereal beings who have had no earthly incarnations. You may or may not have teachers from the astral classification. The shining ones are mentioned in nearly all the sacred books from the world religions. The Egyptians, Romans, Greeks, Persians, Muslims, Japanese, Shanastis, I don't know, Jewish, Calabastis, Hindus, and Morris, I don't know what that is. These knew of these ethereal beings. Even the Arabic Quran speaks of angels. These celestial beings are composed of pure radiant energy, hence the shining ones. Their activity appears to be confined to carrying out divine will, whether it be through protection or messages. My very first video, my very first awakening, I approach what I say is a shining being. It's a light being on the top of a mountain. It's a white light, and I'm speaking to it through my heart. We're having a conversation from my heart. Who is it? Gabriel. These beings never were and never will be in a physical human body, for they evolved separately from humans. Generally, one speaks of astral or spiritual teachers. They reference is not to angels, but the astral beings who once lived on this earth and now are a disincarnated state. They have accepted the spiritual task of helping humans to grow spiritually. Kobe took on this task. Kobe stood in the in-between. Kobe stands in the in-between. My spirit guides, they stand there. I can't say all of them. I can't say Pac's going to guide you. He's my guide. But Kobe's there to guide all of you. Kobe stands in the in-between. What? Teaching you how to take off that fucking flesh. Some Mamba fucking mentality, and this is the year of the serpent, bro. He's there to get you through it. He is Archangel Sariel, the dark night of the soul. The angel of the dark night of the soul. Know that. Know that. You could have never known it without doing the studies of who this angel was, to know that he walked the land with us. I assure you of that. And he will never leave his post. Because even when he was here, he was still holding that post. Too many people get caught up on the assigning of some lofty title to their teachers in an attempt to make them sound more important. When I became aware many years ago of the title Tibetan monk with me, a little Tibetan monk with me, I made the mistake of asking him if he was the master or had other title. He frowned and said, "What is a title? A name is a title, for it defines who you are. No one has need for more than that. Too many people attach pompous surrounding titles to themselves or to their teachers and do not warrant such titles or descriptions." And that's it. Prove that. I must tell you in every video who the fuck you're dealing with. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, light worker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, an evangelist, North American Sybil. I am your messenger of God, the first child of God, Lilith reincarnated. I never claimed to be anything more or less, and I tell you all of my lifetimes that I was here. Enough. You want a title, but you don't own that title. You're none of those things. I must wear all those titles for you to have even the slightest understanding of what I am. Those are just names for things that, the actions that I'm capable of doing. That's not what I am. There's no word to describe it other than God in the female form. I am his dark goddess. You are human, of the flesh. You have not claimed your birthright to your divinity. You do not walk in the blood of Christ. You walk in the blood of your mothers and fathers. You have not claimed such things over your life. You do not walk the path. I apologize for that terrible truth to you, but I'm here to get you back on your path. God sees where you are. He has always walked with you in these weird-ass ways you walk, and I'm trying to walk you down the straight and narrow. But to the rest of them, they're fucking lies. They're absolute lies. They're tarot readers, and I'm going to teach you how to do it too. You ever played Rummy? You ever played Solitaire? It's a card game. Just put the other one away. It's right on top, actually, because I didn't have a place for it. The pictorial key to tarot. This is like literally the oldest version, and it uses the absolute stupid-ass words. Here we go. 4 of Cups. It describes it. Divinatory meaning, right? It teaches you. You don't have to be ignorant to these people. It teaches you. This is my first one. How to read them. This is the one that's all fun and games and has pretty pictures and asks lots of questions that we're currently reading. I teach you this every day. Stop letting them be your gods. They have no power. They read a book that you choose not to read. And they didn't even read it thoroughly. Let me show you something. This is not even in here. Where is it? Astrology, magic, astrology, mundane, astral, natal astrology, elixir life, making the stones. Hold on. Oh, Wolfman, I'm fully aware that you get most of your information from this book. I am fully motherfucking aware of this. I just want to say, there's not a book you could read where I didn't know where you stole that information. Just saying. I know it's in here. Tarot. Hold on. The roots of numerology. He hasn't got far in this book, I'll tell you that much. Where was it? Zodiac, the houses, the birth chart, Solomon, the paths, and the tarot, 97. I'm not fucking playing with you guys. I can't stand you idiots. You think you have some fucking power. What are you looking at? We're gonna get to it. The black arts. That's the first part it says right there. The paths of wisdom did Jehovah in the Sabbath, the God of Israel. The cards are biblical. How can they speak so negatively using them? And which card says obsessed, Oscar? You're projecting. I've never seen somebody say obsessed so many times in every single video. It's your language. Your love language is what I heard. Again, you have some work to do, buddy. A lot of work to do before you can be over here teaching. I'm giving you the second degree. You're not ready. Alright, let's go. Let's move on. What makes me more than you? Because I'm the goddess, bro. I was created more than you. I've been created so many times. I have so many life experiences. I've mastered all of this. I bring it back to Lilith, the first experience for her to master. All of myself inside. Why Lilith? Because you guys are a bunch of little Liliths. Once you wake up, you're going to wake up like Lilith and Lucifer. The only way to calm your fucking balls is to teach you how to fucking hold your energy, hold your feelings, overcome them. I didn't get to heaven not doing that, douchebags. Go back there every fucking day. Take you. Show you the way. Anyways, just going back to it. It's not about titles. Let's see. No one has ever needed more than that. Too many people attach pompous sounding titles to themselves or to their teachers. They collect titles and initiations like other people collect stones and coins. When you die, the judges don't ask what title or initiation you have. They don't look at the name of your soul. And I just shared a video of that. It's that simple, dude. When you're dead, that's it. There's no argument. There's no words, bro. There's no words. You don't get to talk. You have no ability. Your power, your ability to speak, to breathe life, has been taken away at that moment of death. You don't get to talk your way out of it. They will show you the life you lived. And you will weep, and you will come right back to make it better. What do you want me to say, bro? They said for all eternity. How long is it going to take you? All eternity, I guess. How many times have you done this? How many lives have you wasted being selfish? Just wanting to feel everything about the world. How many lives have you wasted? I don't know your Akashic records. But the way you're looking right now, you're looking like you ain't never been spiritual. Ever. Like you have no spirituality. The true movers and shakers of any era have all been the common people who did what was necessary for day-to-day living. So do not expect them to have some lofty title among your teachers. You will get more practical advice and aid from a teacher who worked their way through life just as you are doing. Eventually, you'll discover that you have a number of different teachers working with you. They choose you. They choose you. You do not choose them. I told you when I started this, I never fucking started talking to nobody. They came to me. And each one, I couldn't believe it. I really remember when I'm sitting there in the car with Pac. He's got his shirt off. It's the middle of the day. He's in the car with his feet up. And literally outside of my car, here comes Eazy-E walking down this little hill. And I reach out to Marshall right away. Why is Eazy-E here? Any idea why Eazy-E's here? He's just looking at me, bro. Why is he here? Where was he there? He'd always been there. I just never saw him before that moment. I'd been speaking his words for fucking years. By that time, at least a year and a half. Kobe speaks through me. Why? Because he trained me. He is my teacher, bro. I told you. 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. These guys are there, bro. I tried to tell... as soon as I met Oscar and I was, like, going to try to get close, I'm like... I introduced him to my spirit guides. This is no joke. They're really here, bro. Why can't I see him anymore? Because I'm in the light. But then, what did Pac say? Anytime I leave the light, I see him. He'd be out there talking shit. As soon as I step into the darkness and start being dark, he's right there by me. I got the in her 2 dogs, bro. It's no joke. It's no joke. Bobby's like, I don't know what voices you're hearing. Okay, let me... On this particular day, and most of the time I say they. And I told you why I say they. Because it could be almost anybody of the light. And even of the dark. Because I'm in both. I mean, you know, I stand in the liminal. I don't just stand at the gates of heaven and the gates of hell. Because I'm on earth, I'm in between both. I'm in the in-between. Literally. Meaning, it's not underneath the ground and it's not in heaven. Don't get that stupid idea. That's my favorite question. When I start my church, I'm going to start with 2 questions. All right, everybody, sit down. First day, grand opening. I want everybody to pull out this pen and paper and write down answer 2 questions for me, and then put them in the basket. Number 1, where is heaven and hell? And what does it look like to you? Okay? Take a few minutes. I'm going to put on some music and kind of paint a picture here, and you draw that down for me. All right. Second question. Is the devil real? And what does he look like? I gotta know where you're coming up with this stuff, bro. I gotta know. If I read enough of these, it'll paint a picture. I can try to figure out what the fuck you're looking at. That's how I gotta start my whole community. Those are my only 2 questions to humanity. What the fuck is this shit? What does it look like? Tell me. I gotta know what this looks like. However, they must be willing. They must be willing on your part. Excuse me. There must be a willingness on your part to learn. One of 2 of these teachers will be what in New Age terms calls a master teacher. Kobe. Although there is no title not favored by this being, I prefer to call him the chief administrator. Told you. It seems to be the job of this special ones to make certain that the other teachers offer the proper help. These administrators will remain with you throughout this lifetime unless you reject them by repeating negative habits and behaviors or by refusing to accept their help at any time. And I told you, they hold my hand until the last breath. They're there to catch me on the other side. They walk me all the way to the other side. And they don't go nowhere, except for when I got mad at them. It's like, this is all your fucking fault. Your fucking job is make sure I don't get fucked up down here. And you done fucked up my relationship. I went to war with my spirit gods over Marshall. I went to war with them over him. It was awkward. They didn't talk to me for like 3 weeks. And I realized that, it wasn't them at all. I just took it out on them. Why? Because I just did it. I just did. Did you see me get crazy with God last Saturday? The other teachers may change from time to time as you grow and develop in spiritual conscious. When your spiritual awareness takes a step forward, some of the teachers will leave to train others. And that's what happened. Kobe just left. After I got to a certain place, it was just me and Pac. And the other guys. Meaning he's not there, he's just there. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not in my face all the fucking time. He's there at wake-up calls and shit, but he's got other shit to do. I say that all the time. I say that about DMX. He's out there fucking shit up, bro. Meaning he's not here, but he's out there too. Like, they don't just sit around with me all day. They just don't. Why would they? I'd be bored as fuck. I call for him when I am bored. What the fuck are you doing? Nika, I'm bored. This always happens when a few psychic gifts is developing. You may find it difficult to identify many of your regular teachers at first, for they ordinarily do not appear unusual or different as a new teacher will. These beings have been around you since childhood, and they will be subconsciously comfortable with their presence. I can't say, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's like I was young when Pac died. But I don't know. I mean, it's simple. I knew that Kobe was there since the beginning. I knew that Nipsey was there. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that Pac was always with me afterwards. I mean, it was their next task. They went from one life to another. It was their next life. I was their next task. So why weren't they with me since the beginning? I just wasn't consciously aware. And how do I know? Shock G. Shit like that. Shock G. Who's Shock G? A Digital Underground. He brought me into their life. He brought me into a lot of people's lives. Like, I mean, he didn't, but, I mean, I just know. How could I be so, you know what I mean, music affiliated without him? Being honest, if we had to say who was guiding me through all this, who else took me backstage? Who was my backstage pass to the fucking music industry? I gotta think it was him, bro. And that would have been, I mean, I was young when he died. It was a 10-year difference. You know what I mean? That was just when I was starting my life. At 15, that's when I was hitting the streets. And that's what I told you. He loves me because I'm street. I'm all about that street. We run these streets, dude. He knows. And I was like, that's what got me qualified as being that. I am thug life. So honestly, I've gotta believe, dude. But then again, you listen to that bald-headed bitch. He's like, I wasn't in that bitch's bedroom, is what he said. That bitch believes I'm fucking her, but I'm not. That was the first thing he came and told me to do. To set some shit straight with Will Smith and fucking Jada Pinkett, bro. It was the first conversation he made me have. The second one was about the music industry. And during that conversation, he reveals his master plan to take down Diddy. They saw it, bro. It was all in there, bro. I tell you, he knows everything. So when Pac said that I had to walk away from Marshall because Marshall's caught up in some bitch-ass shit with Dre and Snoop, I just haven't fully. It was really hard, but it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Pac said they go down next. When? We could have never known that, dude. It was 2 years later, did he? And to be honest, Marshall had came out and said something. It's in all of my videos. He had said something. He made a comment about Diddy the night before they went and arrested Diddy. He made a comment, and Pac made me jump out his ass. There's a whole message about it. You don't know shit. Keep your fucking name out of people's motherfucking mouth and stop talking about shit that you don't know. You have nothing to do with this. You're just name-dropping little bitch. The next day, we find out. They go and arrest Diddy, and we find out what it's really about. In the beginning, he sent me to one person. He sent me to stop DJ Khaled. Do you guys know DJ Khaled's religion? And the fact that he's just an overall good man. That was it. Everybody else he didn't give a fuck about. And then when it comes down to what's ever next, he told me to tell fucking M to get the fuck away from him. But he wouldn't listen. He wouldn't turn on his own friends for my connection to the dead. Even after everything he saw. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was scary in the beginning. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, how many mushrooms did you take? In the essence, I never took that many. I just was like, what the fuck? Alright, the other teachers may change, and that's it too, as I get new spiritual guides. We're going to talk about that further on, and that's where I ascended into new levels of the Ascending Masters. You know what I mean? When we got to Buddha that week, oh my God. Kobe! Kobe, we made it! Kobe, you got me there! We're here! Hey, look, Mom, we made it! That was... We are in the brotherhood of Buddha. It was all glory to him that we made it. Not I, we. We. Because as I rise, I bring them into the levels of ascension with me. Except for I can't get them into heaven. I'm like, I know a guy. I cried on the other gate, on the other side of the gate. Pac, where are you, bro? Where are you? You're in the light. We're not in the light yet. But then I realized nobody was there, and that the Kanyen hit me. You guys haven't gone through the final judgment yet. Don't be discouraged if you're not given a name immediately. Your teachers will reveal their names when they feel you are ready, and if the name will not be a hindrance to you. As you advance in your understanding and acceptance, you will be able to see your teachers in your mind, in your inner eye. You can exchange thoughts swiftly with excuse me. Hold on. I'm seeing us. Okay. Okay, you can exchange thoughts more swiftly than you could in words. Be critical, however, any messages you receive, no matter the means or the astral being given them. Every message should be scrutinized carefully with common sense. No etherical teacher will demand that you do anything, especially anything against your moral values or against spiritual universal laws, nor will they advise action that will throw your life into chaos and cause you trouble. And that's what it is. That's why I went after him. You're not supposed to cause me trouble. You're not supposed to make this any harder. They didn't do anything. But I know their job. If you receive messages of this kind, think hard about your own inner desires in case you might be hearing what you want to hear and not what is the truth. And that's what it is. Magic is performed from a sense of personal desire. You're doing this for your own personal reasons, bro, to fill your flesh, because you're angry, because you're jealous, because you're needy, because you're insecure, because you think you're ugly, because you're fat, because of whatever fucking reason. I posted a video. I watched it, dude. It was creepy as fuck. And I asked Spirit, I was like, will it work? They're like, yep. I watched this woman. It was right on Instagram, bro. All I did was I was just scrolling, and it was a binding for a penis, and it was supposed to be against a perpetrator or a rapist. But anybody watching this who has a bad heart about their boyfriend and doesn't want him to go get no new pussy could practice this. The problem is that practice is going to come back and your pussy's going to go on fire. Why would you do that to a man? I've been raped ever since I was a child, bro. I wouldn't do such things. Let me explain something to you. A person that inflicts that much pain on another person, an innocent person, is in a whole lot of pain of their own. Have you ever been with a man that can't get it hard and watched him get extremely frustrated and take it out on you? Like it's your problem? Why would you do that to a man? When obviously it's a problem across the board. I've seen so many fucking advertisements for hymns. He took hymns. What? Put it away. Your guides don't tell you to do shit like that. Your evil mind tells you to. There's nothing evil out here but your mind. It creates wickedness. And that's why, sociologists and psychologists spend so much time trying to break down the mind of where did you come to this conclusion. I am telling you, dude, there was nothing evil about, Dahmer. His mind, and you can listen to the stories, the tapes, it sounded very logical. He jumped from one neuron to another, one thought to another, made sense. If I do this, then this will work. No idea of cause and effect, just the jump from this to this. You do that all day, bro. Did he have evil intentions? No, he was just trying to make something work. If anything, he was a fucking genius. What was he trying to work? He was just trying to hide his love. Because you told him that gay love was demonized and that there was something wrong with him. You made something wrong with him. There was nothing wrong with him about loving men. It was him, the way he tried to hide it, that made it evil. He became evil, trying to respect what you guys said, which was hiding it. Whatever, he didn't have evil sex with these men. He became evil later. I'm not standing up for all of the creepo people, but I'm just saying is their mind gets warped. God didn't create them like that. A life warps their mind to where they follow the belief system. What were you thinking? I don't know. Because it jumped from one thought to the next. How fast do you jump to conclusions? Careful now. And that's it. It's like, people don't do magic unless they have evil intentions. They have wicked intentions. If you know God, you don't do this type of shit, bro. When you went to the Dark Goddess, you went for justice. Let her take care of it. You don't ask God, you don't ask Jesus for revenge. I got you. You don't ask him for that. You ask him for forgiveness, compassion, understanding. You know what I mean? Help you to be a good person. Ask her to do your dirty work. You went to all the Dark Goddesses to do your dirty work. Now, unfortunately, they could see how the Dark Goddess worked, so they took those works upon themselves and started to do them themselves. All you had to do was leave your enemy at the door for me, and I'll take care of it. That was Callie. Callie would eat your enemies for you. Bring them to me. I'll take care of them. I'm your mother. I'll protect you. Don't get your hands dirty. This is what I do. Okay? So I'm just saying, when you get these ideas, these wicked ideas, that's your thoughts. That's not God. What's encouraging those thoughts? The dark side. We'll talk about demons. I'll tell you about them. They're instigators. They don't give you the idea. They never had an idea of their own. But once you get one going, they can see how devious this is, and they're really for it. I want to see this. I want to see this. Be like, I'm about to roll up on this bitch. Get everybody! Grab Lisa and them! We gotta see this! Get. That's what I told you. Pac will be right there. Get that bitch. Get that bitch. Get him. Get him. Get him. You're not helping. Stop it. They don't give you the idea. They give you the courage. I'm being honest. They ain't got no ideas of their own. If they had an idea, they'd get their asses out of there. They didn't have a brain. The brain comes up with all these great ideas. Alright, anyways, going back. Yeah, we don't do that. Wherever that's coming from, that's your own fucked up brain. We don't do shit like that. No etherical teacher will demand you to do anything, especially against your moral blah blah blah. Let's see. If you receive messages of this kind, think hard about. Then, if the thought did not come from your own subconscious mind, decide how you feel about the astral sender of the message. You may need to request that the particular teacher be removed from your presence if he or she continues to demand certain actions from you or is consistent in offering bad advice. They want to remove you, Puck. I told you, he sits there, me and him get in so much trouble, and Kobe's just like, you're not helping her. You can't stop him, though. He's the most serious joke. I mean, seriously, he gets me in a lot of trouble. We be talking so much shit. I will seek to the darkest with him. We be talking shit. About everybody. He's quick to burn some shit. I don't think he was really, I mean, he did write some disses, but he wasn't the diss rapper. He was just, man, he's the shit. He's funny about that. He's kind of, you know, yeah. Now, again, yesterday, I had the idea to do some weather magic, and they're like, yeah, you could send destruction across America for us. Who's us? What are you talking about? I said it in my last video. I was like, what? I said it last night. They really did. They were like, bring in the weather. Bring in the fire. I was like, who's us? I'm not part of this. I just wanted to cool down. What are you talking about? I heard it. They really showed. I didn't hear it. They showed me. They're like, yeah, this will be great. This will destroy the South. What? I was just trying to... What? What? It really came out yesterday. I was like, what? It is not unusual for deceased ancestors, relatives, or friends to visit from time to time. Naturally, they're interested in your progress and growth. However, if one of them proves to be troublesome, you have the right to ask your teachers to remove that entity. And that's probably why they don't let my mom come bother me. They don't let people fuck with me. Like, why? Because you're not fucking with her progress. And that's what a lot of people get very, you know, you'll hear these tarot readers and shit. They didn't know how much spiritual protection. I fucking told you who I was, bro. It's not just a title. It's not just a show, bro. Stupid as fuck. I'll tell you, you can't run around and say you're the messenger of God without, you know what I mean, really being one or getting slapped or getting killed by God. You don't get to get around like that shit, bro. You may have demanded that they not be allowed to return if they're really annoying. One of my deceased relatives was manipulative, complaining, and critical in life. She did not change when she died. After a temper tantrum that included throwing books off the shelf in a fit of astral pique, I don't know what that word is. She is permanently barred from my surroundings. My mom used to say she would come and haunt people in her next life. She's watched all these videos about ghost hunting towards the end of her death. She used to tell people all the time she was going to come back and haunt them. Can they do stuff like that? Yeah, they can, but only in your quiet spaces. It takes a lot of energy, bro. They really don't have that much energy to move stuff around. They don't. Some of the witches' invisible companions do not call themselves guides or teachers. They are fairies, gnomes, and similar beings who coexist with us that are not always human in form and thought. However, they too can help us if approached in the proper manner. Although they keep out of human sight because of past negative experiences, often can be coaxed to share their knowledge and help. Alright, I am Morgan Le Fay in another life. So yeah, all about the fairies and all that stuff. I have the fairy Bible that teaches you not just them, but all of the mystical creatures. I tried to tell you this. You're never going to see a fucking unicorn if you don't believe in them. Just because they don't live in our plane doesn't mean that all planes don't land here. The astral plane. You literally can see some shit, bro. I tried to warn my daughter. I love that story. I told her not to go. We were at the graveyard. I said, don't go messing around in there. They're going to get you. The fairies are going to get you, bro. Don't fuck with them. They're fucking evil. They knocked her down and covered her. Covered her in little pokies. I got to the other side. I was doing this, you know, roundabout ritual that I always do up there. I got to the other side. She tells me how they knocked her down. I was like, you have to be respectful of them. They're very devious. And by the time we got back to the car, all of the little pricklies that she was covered in were removed. But I told her, don't go fucking with them. They're out there. And it's like, people don't believe me until they come and fuck you up. And then they're like, oh, it was really funny. I told her not to do it. As this will most frequently produce the opposite effect, or no help at all. The best way to work with them first is to cultivate a sense of friendship. Then when you know when you're out in the woods and you're being watched. You know when you're being watched. You just don't know what's watching you. I'm just saying. I mean, you know when you're being watched. And what are they? You can usually see them as glistens. You can see them move the grass and stuff like that. You probably think it's a snake or something. You can see light glistening. You can see them. They're again, shining lights. They often can be enticed to help with magic. These beings primarily exist in the astral realms, but can roam through the physical realm whenever they please. The witch must take care not to think of these otherworld creatures as having human thoughts, feelings, or reactions, as they will not. And that's what I mean. They don't have a code of ethic. They don't have a purpose. They're just fucking around. They're devious. They're just exploring. They're little... It depends on which ones you catch. Some of them are evil, bro. Like, yeah, little warrior bitches. How can I describe them? You seen the night at the museum? You know how it gets all dark and then the little Aztecs, the little Mayans come out and they want to go to war and shit? It's them. Like, enough of them will get you, bro. They'll get you. Enough of them. Enough of them. I'll be sitting in the dark all by myself with all this crazy shit with the candle lit. Talking about, come on, come outside with me. Anyways, I'm funny. Alright, these beings mentioned below are those well known to European cultures, and it goes on for gnomes, dwarfs, trolls, large fairies that work with the earth element. Then you have syphils, zephyrs, tiny winged fairies, elves that work with the air element. East salamanders, fried drakes, and dragons with the fire element. Yundis, merfolk, and certain other fairies with the water element. Since salamanders, fire drakes, and other dragons most closely fit the description of animal allies, they are discussed in chapter 15. And that's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to read all this. And that's your animal allies. Who did I see all today? The hawks. They always watch over me as I travel, though. I had to go do some shit today. So then it goes into, there's a definition of bogies, brownies, dryads, dwarves, elves, fairies. What else we got in here? Jesus, it goes on forever. Fauns, gargoyles, gnomes, goblins, hobgoblins, green men, knockers, merfolk, nixies, pixies, polka, and puck. Sifts, trolls, undines, and then there's some study work. And then we get into the animal spirits and familiars, and then you can learn about each of them. How many of you heard me take a picture of or show you? Got the badger, the bat, the bear, the bee, the blackbird, the butterfly, the cat, the cattle, the cheetah, the cock, the rooster, cock, the crane, the crow, the deer, the dog, the dolphin, porpoise, dragon, dragonfly, eagle, eel, elephant, falcon, fox, frog, all of them. They all have a meaning, and that's why I have those too. Then you have your sacred spaces, all this great stuff, right? All right, let's get back to consorting with spirits. Well, we'll go back to the black arts, where I was talking about that. What is this? When the soul leaves God and makes its way through the spheres on earth, the characteristics, what are we reading about here? Christians, professors, Hebrew. This isn't what I was going to read. Hold on. That's the splendid lights. Kabbalah, names, powers. I don't remember. I put the page down and now... Oh, okay. Necromancy and psychic attacks. Number 4. Out of the black arts. Page 255. Where am I going? Wherever I want. I'm just jumping around on this shit. Why? By the blood of Jesus Christ, which he sheds for thee, I conjure and command thee to tell me what I ask. Whoa, we jumped too far. We're not asking in the name of Christ. What are we talking about here? For 9 days before the ceremony, the necromancer and his assistants prepare by surrounding themselves with the aura of death. They dress in musty grave clothes, finished with... Okay, you're doing the most. When they first put on their recites, I don't know. They abstain from even the mere sight of a woman. They eat dog... Okay, see these people, they're such weirdos, bro. I don't know what this is. Let's move on. Why? Because I just don't want you to know all these weird... It freaks you out when you realize what they were doing. Who told them to do that is where I always say. At the end of incarnation, a ghost appeared, but at first it abstinently refused to enter the corpse. I don't know what this is talking about. Menstrual blood, froth, rabbit dogs, lynx guts. You don't want to read all this, trust me. as the ritual proceeds. It teaches you, this is what I mean, is they learn, look, in Aleister Crowley's novel, The Moonchild, an operation of necromancy had begun at sunset. The sorcerers worked barefoot to draw up a power of earth from the volcanic strata below. They cover the ground with nauseous slime and sprinkle it with sulfur. The magic circle is drawn in sulfur with the folk stick and the sign of the devil. In some cases, dead are summoned to attack a person the magician wishes to harm or master. A Greco-Egyptian text gives the following method of compelling a woman to submit to the magician. She makes a wax doll to represent the woman and piercing 13 needles through the brain, eyes, ears. I'm not going to teach you all this. Then he conjures the corpse of the grave by Persephone. Oh, man. Again, they have to pull on all of them. Ereshkigal, the Sumerian queen of underworld, Adonis, Hermes, Thoth, and Anubis, the jackal-head Egyptian of the dead. By the gods of the underworld and the legions of the dead, snatched by life, they command it to rise up and stalk through the streets. Concentration is essential. Occultists believe that magician can be tuned into other people like a ray or a beam. If he is projecting hatred or cruelty, evil spirits will be attacked by the current of force and will join in the operation. One way of killing an enemy by concentration is called the Black Fast. Executed in York in 1538, was said to have confessed to killing a man by abstaining from meat, milk, and all dairy foods, meanwhile concentrating on the victim's death. That's it. I can't focus on any kind of bad thoughts. Another way of launching a psychic attack through an artificial element. Occultists say that elementals, the minor and brutish spirits of fire, air, earth, and water, exist in nature, but they are also possible to make an artificial one with a temporary lease of life. The magician forms his mind a clear picture of a creature he intends to create. Told you, you guys created the devil out of your mind. By concentrated imagination and willpower, and by feeding into this mental picture of his own violent emotional forces, his hatred, cruelty, or lust, he can endow the creature with life and then send it out to attack an enemy. Are you scared yet? The most common question I get when I tell people I'm a witch is they think they've been cursed. If you were cursed, you'd have no mind. You wouldn't be able to have a conversation. You don't really understand how it affects your mind. That's what it's made to do. I teach you how to clean your dark, because ultimately, whatever this creature that this magician created, its malice can only feed off of your malice, your darkness. It needs a host of darkness. So, for me, every time they send the most greatest creation of dark to come destroy me, and they have, and they've done it to my children. They've done it to my car. They've done it to they've tried to astral project into my place. They've tried everything. And I have messages of, some of them getting through. What it is it attacks your shadow. They know your weakness. They know what your shadows are. What are your shadows? They're only a weakness because you hide them. They know what you're hiding. They know what to do and what to say to get you in your shadows, to submit. So when they send dark work at me, it sends me into my shadows. But I'm trained to know what to do when I'm in there. They sent me into madness. The idea was suicidal. We'll make her mad. She'll lose her mind. We'll send enough pain and suffering, enough chaos, suicide, all of that. She'll lose her mind. Congratulations, I did. It worked wonderfully. I appreciate the peace and quiet. But in the essence, I tell you, and it's in those videos, it was one after another. It was feeding on me. They were on top of me. I had to clean myself out, or I was never going to live. I had to keep fighting through all of my darknesses, one after another, after another, after another. But after you've gone through them, there's nothing for it to feed on. So no matter what they push on me, they push, if I do have something, a shadow, which I have plenty, subconscious of course. If I have a shadow, they'll push darkness at me, and all that darkness does is push it to the surface like it's supposed to. So when you're under attack, you're emotionally and mentally incapable. It's not about your physical world is struggling. It's about that you are literally about to, you know what I mean? You're partial suicidal. Because that's what they're attacking. Just that simplistic. You know what I mean? So, careful. Now, why are they attacking you? Out of malice, out of fear, out of jealousy, envy, greed. Will they get away with this? Do you want me to tell you the truth? Yeah. They will. Why? Because of the karma wheel. It's a higher understanding. Meaning, alright, how do they get to play God and get away with this? They're they're planting their seeds of karma. In another life, they could have been the person that was hexed. So now they come back to this life and they return the gift to you. Perhaps. If not, and they're just walking in this, then they're just walking in it. And they're going to have karma for it. Now, to the person on the other side, like me. Every bad thing that's ever happened to me in this life is karma for all the bad things I did to other people. I used my magic against many, so naturally many would use their magic against me. Lilith's strongest trait, her strongest gift, was the sexual prowess. We know that. That's why she fled with it. So then what happens in this life? That's what I'm sexually abused my whole life. For the, you know what I mean? For my sexual activities in the Lilith life. It's karma. Destiny swapping? Nah, that's not real. But attacks to where they can drive your mind mad and you die and you kill yourself? Yeah, but anybody could do that. What you don't get is this was just it was going to be written that was going to be the way you go anyways. How could I say that? God let me get away with a lot of evil things. So I know that he lets his children get away with a lot of evil things. He'll set it right in this life or the next. He'll set it right, but believe it or not, you know, like these dark practitioners that are out here doing it, as crazy as it sounds, it's just a box that they checked. In this life, I'm gonna go be a dark practitioner. In this life, I'm gonna be a nun. In this life, I'm going to be a warrior. They wanted to know they wanted to have that power. What they do with it is their karma. Because not all of it, we all have the power. And that's why it is. It's like, how come you're so much more powerful? Because I pull it directly from God. You're pulling it from a force of me. A portion of me or part of my family. Calling on any part of the underworld is calling me into the conversation. There's no underworld without me. And most of them don't pray to the Dark Lord. Again, there's Lucifer, but the devil isn't real. It's a force, and that's why it has to be eliminated. Because of all the gods that God made, he never made that. You made a false god, a trinket god, that you say is above him, that has power and dominion over your life. He didn't give anybody such powers. And no teachings of God does anything have power over your life. But you guys run around saying it. You made up this false god and you made him bigger than our God. And that's why my question is, who's the devil? Where? Show me evil. Show me evil. Show me this devil that you say is real. And I started that conversation with Scary Larry, the dark practitioner, the only one I've come face to face with. And he started screaming, but he was projecting because later I saw the vision. He was the man that was raping his child. Anyways, he says to me on that corner, I'm telling him I'm a pagan priestess, and he says that I go to the places where God cannot protect me. I said, there's no such place. And he's all, there's no such evil. I said, there's no such thing as evil. All things are of God, and all things are good. He said, so when a man is raping a child, that's not evil? I said, I was that child, and God was there with me. My God isn't evil. You may not understand him. And that's where he shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Did I know he was? No, not till later. If I would have known that on that corner, I'd been scared for my life. When I saw him and approached him, and what he said back to me made me scared for my life. Then I realized I was dealing with a 6-year-old man that I could run up on and just totally fuck up. I was like, and that was another thing too. I told him, I was like, my spirits told me what you were doing, and I've bound you. And he got all close to my face. He's like, it's not working. And he smiled, and he had that Freddy Krueger look, and I thought I was gonna die, bro. I was like, what do you mean my magic's not working? I was like, wait. He's lying. He's lying. My magic works. There's nothing more magical than me. And then he disappeared for like 2 months. Scary. It's in the beginning of my YouTube channel. Scroll all the way down. It's in there, and I was scared as fuck. He said it straight to my face, bro. He's like, my spirits told me that you're not taking these people to your church. He's like, you're right. I'm not. Where the fuck are you taking them? I was so scared, bro. I was so scared. I was so scared that I was right. I was so scared that I was right. And then he's like, your magic isn't working. Well, that's all I got on me. Fuck. It better work. Seriously, it was scary. Anyways, I'm not going to read you any of this. It's getting worse. Poltergeist phenomenon, the smell of decomposing. Yeah, let's get out of that. That's enough of that. And that's how they pray to me, bro. Why do they do such things? Because they were taught. You don't know the ancient ways, bro. Before Jesus, sacrifices were real. Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate human sacrifice. To say that God didn't take human sacrifices is an absolute lie. To say that he didn't take animal sacrifices. You know what he didn't take? Gold. Silver. He wanted blood. God wanted blood, bro. It's in that Bible. Go back and read the Old Testament. Those were the old ways. The New Testament was the new way, proclaimed by Jesus. New laws where you didn't have to do those, but that was the way. So they practice the old ways. They literally pull out the blood and guts. They kill the animals. It's in my videos too. When God sent me to go camping, I didn't know where to go. He took me up to Black Hawk, a special place. I parked next to the road, next to the river. There's been a witch ceremony done here. There's the candles, there's the alcohol, there's a dead bird, there's everything is there. He took me to where someone else, another witch, had practiced. Meaning it's just a sacred ground that witches are guided to. How could she have known where to go? They brought her there as they brought me, and I did all kinds of ritual work there myself, and that's what we call an Earth Star Chakra, where all of us are guided there to do our ritual work. Again, going back to these fake-ass tarots, they don't do any ritual work. They don't go to church on Sunday. They don't praise a God. Let's look at the person that's not talking to you. Let's check out the singles. Let's check out... None of it is about healing, dude. This is about codependency, bro. Saying one foot ahead of the other, which in essence, it's just codependency. You're trying to see if you're going to get a mate or what's happening with your last mate.
Is this my charger?
Checkmate.
Did you break my charger?
No, baby. It's just not... Watch how you talk to me. I can tell already. We're having charger issues because I tell you the same thing every time. The energy rolls through the room.
Can you put your hotspot on?
Sure. Alright, so there's that, and the other. I'm going to read a little bit more and we're going to get out of it. Because I've never actually I got this book to explain in the very beginning that I was talking to dead people. And as soon as we got into it, it said not to. Look, first page, bro. First page, bro. Chapter 1. What is a spirit? What was that? Oh, that's her phone. Let's see. In 1997, I completed the magical workings aimed to make contact with my holy guardian angel. It took 9 months of increasingly longer conjugations and prayer. The concept of making contact with a personal angel that is unique to you. Huh?
You can turn the thing off. I'm not going to put your password.
You don't remember it?
No, and I'm not
It always has been the same. Just don't make me say it on live.
Exactly, so turn it off.
Okay, you've got an attitude and I'm not going to have it, bro. I'm not. You're not taking the time to calm down and make things happen. You're not going to get mad at me because nothing's happening. Alright. This took 9 months of... It took him that long. The concepts of making contact with a personal angel is unique to you. Comes from the book of the sacred magic of Abralim the Mage. But like most people, I was not following the text to the letter. My journey started using Aleister Crowley's I don't know. And then reverting to older rituals that Crowley based it on. The rite of the headless one. After months and months of dedicating the bulk of everything every day to attain the knowledge and conversation of this spirit, I finally had done it. I could see and hear this angel right there in the air in front of me. It was glorious. I can't read this. I gotta stop right here. I just really gotta stop. First off, she's got an attitude. It says right here, that's where it stopped. I already wrote this book about protection and reversal magic, so I don't plan on presenting a ton of shielding protection methods. That book, or just a few basics, and that's where it says, it's like you have to read that book before you read this book. Alright, well, that's awesome. He spent all this time trying to talk to a spirit, to an angel. What are spirits? I mentioned in the introduction consorting with spirits. Once the name of a crime. The assumption at the time that the spirits were fully formed and independent beings who existed in their own realm, somewhat adjacent to ours. Like you and me, but different. Some spirits were thought to wander our world like restless ghosts or demons looking to cause harm. Others might be contacted only through access points like caves and fairy circles. You always had people who did not believe in the existence of spirits at all. But for those who did believe, and those left their influence, spirits were real to you or I. But what precisely are they? Before I give my answer, blah, blah, blah. Oh man, it just goes on forever. What's the answer? The energy. When Carl Jung proposed collective conscious, a deep part of the unconscious mind inherited from our ancestors rather than the subjectively shaped by ourselves, magicians saw that not only that spirits could be explained by a psychological model of magic, but that this might even explain the ways that spirits seem to behave beyond our own minds. It was an exciting idea, an interface, blah, blah, blah. Alright, we're not ready for this. In the essence of, he didn't talk to dead people. He had to do a bunch of work to get in contact with them. Is it necessary? I don't know. I don't know how hard you're going to have to work at this. Again, I started this whole video telling you I didn't do any of this. I make offerings to specific spirits. I do specific rituals to honor them. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I've never done it. I tried to access Aleister Crowley and Carl Jung. That's it. The only two I tried to access. Aleister Crowley is fully incarnated in another human body at this time. Awoken? Yes. It's almost like they knew he was going to be born at this. They knew his time and date when he was going to be born. They had it down. They knew what child he would be born in. So then they started his works. As the Avatar, he knows exactly who he is. In essence, they're breeding him into darkness. Is he darkness? No. But they're breeding him into it. They're breeding him to be the Antichrist, I guess, if there was such a thing. They're breeding him into it to be the, the evil destroyer, but it's not who he is. So don't worry about it. I mean, at the end of the stroke, at the stroke of midnight, dude, his heart will turn. It'll turn to gold, I promise. So you don't really have to worry about whatever he's up to, whatever they're teaching him. But anyways, and then as far as Carl Jung, same thing. I was led to believe that the conscious is here in the physical. There's plenty of them, and it doesn't have to be in one conscious. That's what you don't understand. He doesn't have to be in one form. He could have spread himself out, and that's what God is. It's as much as I'm here, I tell you, my twin flames, a piece of me lies within them. Why? Because I can only have so much experience out of this body, but if I split my soul and I put it into their bodies, then I can get more work done. I can have more experiences. I'm supposed to finish all these lives in one life. How could I do that in one life? I had to split up. We had to split up. Right? Okay. So Carl Jung's conscious is from the as we said, the collective conscious, split into some of the greatest minds right now. There are currently people that are doing the same works as Carl Jung, you know what I mean, Carl Jung, however you want to pronounce it, that have his mentality within their mind. He has placed their mentality inside of it to finish his works, meaning he couldn't do it in one body in one life. So he spread himself thin so he could do it, spread this works. I tried to explain that with my son, Benjamin Franklin over here. He came back as Albert Einstein, but a part of him was split in Nikola Tesla. Separate, but together, still doing the same work, but working, twice as hard in two different places at two different times. You're not. It's so hard to explain, and that's why they saw Hecate as the triple goddess. Okay, now go back to the story. I tell you, I am Hecate. I am Persephone. But Hecate led Persephone through the underworld. So how is that? God in many forms. So then you have goddess in many forms. The archetype spread out. Why God was in Jesus, God was in, was in Buddha. It's the conscious. It's the Christ consciousness. I tried to tell you, there are individuals that wore skin. There's an individual soul, but part of a collective consciousness. When they do these stupid-ass collective tarot reads, they resonate for all of you because you're all on the same low vibration. This doesn't resonate with me because it has nothing to do with my life, because I'm not on that timeline. Is what that means. As you ascend timelines, you get new guides, right? All of them. So, that's how it all works. Now, as far as, I'm trying to explain that. It's like, the Hecate. She was known as the triple goddess. Morgan, the triple goddess. What it meant is there was more to this than one side. We were seeing more than one aspect of this. There was more than one conscious. There's more than a duality. There's a trinity within this goddess. Jesus spoke of it. He told you about the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Most religions teach you about that. With me, it was the maiden, the mother, the crone. That's how I am. Now, why is that? It's the whole evolution. The life, death, and rebirth. The maiden, the mother, and crone. Meaning it's your life, all in one. Lilith lives within you because that is the form of God in a female form. The dark form of God's feelings is called Lilith. The dark form of God's actions is called Lucifer. Can I say that again for you to understand? My spirit is part of the collective spirit, the archetypical spirit that lies within you. You are made up, as much as my spirit lies within you, Christ lies within you. There's no such thing as a devil. Get that out of your brain. That's bullshit. I show you to access how all of them lie within you. Now again, going back to this consorting with the spirits, he spent over 9 months bringing a spirit to reality, trying to bring the spirit to his reality. Why? Because he didn't have the conscience to leave his reality. Astral travel. Being of the spirit. There's a lot of this going on right here. There's a whole bunch to be said. I don't want to get too deep because I could, literally break your brain. We are of spirit. Okay, now when you understand that all spirit, the spirit of all things live within us, then you understand the connection to all things is within us. And then you understand that you must do the work within you to connect with God and all things. It's not the works you do outside of you to connect with it. Why did it take him so long? Because he was working with the physical. He could have, and that's the difference in an astral. And he should have known better. It's in his books. Travel to the angel. But he doesn't know where the angels lie. Why? Because he can't see it in his mind's eye. He has no access. Pac was the only person that saw it. He's the only person that ever spoke of heaven. He said it, Thug's Mansion. And he said it, in my mind's eye. God showed him the vision and he created the words. He saw heaven. First question to all of you. Where is heaven and where is hell? And what does it look like? You don't even have a vision of it. Is it something you saw on TV? Are you trying to give me a picture that you saw in a book? You're telling me that your belief is at face value. Somebody told you this was heaven and now you believe it. And then I asked you what you thought. Your brain told me somebody else's belief. Do you have a vision of what heaven looks like? I asked Mr. Plum that. He said, I see lots of clouds. I hear music. What else? Do you know where you came from? Do you know where you're going? How can you be on a way somewhere if you can't even see where you're going? Here's the scary question. Why are so many of you picturing such a great visual of hell, but you can't picture heaven? Did somebody tell you were going there? Do you believe in hell more than heaven? Where is it? What do you have to do to get there? Do you have to die? But if you just accessed it in your mind, then why can't you stay there? Because you don't know if it's real? Seven of Cups. We'll start working through that. And that's what it is like, am I working through my thoughts? Is this a great idea from my brain? My brain came up with this, you know what I mean? This chemically engineered thought based on some shit that I'd seen before. It jumped to a Google conclusion. Or am I being guided by my heart? How do you know the difference? Your heart is always going to push you to do something brave and beneficial to you. Meaning, I know I have to do this. This is really good for me. I know this is the best thing for me to do, but I don't want to. I'm scared. Your brain will always hold you back from those decisions and tell you why you can't do it and how scared you are and what the terrible outcome is. Your heart is all positive. Your brain is all negative. Going back to the beginning of this, it's like she's still unhurt. She has no trust in God that he will make things right. This man, whoever it is, if this is real, if she got raped and now she goes to a practitioner and she wants this man to pay and she says, all right, we're going to bind his dick. That means this woman is low vibrational as you and she can feel your hurt feelings and she wants to avenge your hurt feelings. That's God, bro. That's God, bro. You're playing God. Do you think God doesn't love you and he didn't see what happened and he's not going to make things right? How long ago did he rape you? Are you going to hold on to that forever? And even after you know his dick burns into fire every time it gets hard and he's burning and in total pain, will that give you peace? Will you let this go now and move on and enjoy the rest of your life? No. That'll stay in the back of your head, always wondering. Always wondering if they got theirs. Coming from a hurt place. Coming from a hurt place, wanting people to hurt because they hurt you. I'm not saying they didn't hurt you. I'm saying that you're not healed, and you haven't dealt with that. We've all been hurt, but we need to heal it. Otherwise, you're just hurting other people. And that goes back to it. How fucked up and hurt do you have to be to go rape somebody? Desperate. Beyond desperate. What makes a person that desperate? Rejection. Neglect. What was wrong with Dahmer? He just wanted a friend that would never leave. And he tried to come up with some great ideas based on what he'd seen to keep them quiet so that he could keep a friend. It wasn't a sex doll. Through sex he could show love. For whatever reason, that's how men show love, is through sex. It's not what it was. He found a way to feel loved and give love, and he didn't want to lose that. It's not always about lust, you know what I mean? And if you listen to a story, you know that. Some of them just want revenge. Some of them literally just want to take it out on a girl, what other women have made them feel. Every woman that made them feel rejected and ugly and fat or not good enough. They want to take that out on some pretty girl. You're unhealed, bro. You're unhealed. So there was a lot to be said here. Scary stuff, of course. I told you, Tales from the Crypt. Spirits are real. They're not all bad. I put that on my card that I can do an exorcism. I've yet to find somebody that's got something really, I don't feel like mentioning names right now. Nobody you have to worry about. Anybody that I actually have, I've bound. We don't have to put a name on that bitch. Yeah, she was up to some really dark practices, but she can't anymore. And in the essence, it's like, what can I do to protect myself? Heal. So then when negative energy, hateful energy, hurtful energy comes over you, it doesn't hurt you and make you hateful and make you mean or negative or irritable or depressed or lonely or psychotic or suicidal. You become invincible to the bullshit. Meaning what? You know how to deal with your feelings, so then if you sink into a feeling, whether it's magical or not, you can get yourself out of it. Then you don't have to worry about it. And that one video, bro, God hit me with one so bad right before I left Oklahoma. Maybe I'll try to scroll and find it. It was bad. I was frozen in fear. Stood right in front of Mr. Plum and just froze in fear. And I saw it. I saw that the spirit guides let it in. That God said to let it in. It was a teaching tool to tell everyone what was going on and show them that this is what happens when you get hit by magic. That it literally fucks up your mind and you're about to fucking go into an absolute place of darkness and depression and almost want to kill yourself. Why? It attacks your hurtness, bro. It attacks the places that hurt. Those places that hurt come to the surface. Remember what that guy said? Remember how he treated you? Remember what your mom said? All the shit that hurts comes to the surface. And if you can't deal with that kind of hurt, you'll try to take yourself out. Remember, Judas killed himself. He couldn't deal with the shame. He couldn't deal with the shame of what he had done. Shame, blame, regret. Those are some of the worst ones. If you're not a victim to some shit, then those ones will get you. they'll make you feel really fucked up about what you've done. If they can't get you about what people have done to you, they'll make you feel fucked up about what you've done. Shame, bro. That's the shadow. We hide this. If anybody found out, I couldn't deal with it. Some people can't. Protect your mind, guys. And stop turning to tarot readers, please. Turn to God. I'm going to teach you all the different ways to turn to God and how to talk to God, but make sure you're talking directly to Him like Jesus said you could. Don't be talking to weird voices in your head. And going back to the spirit guides, it's from the beginning. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. It makes a lot of people question it, and it makes them jealous. But it's why? Because I'm doing great works like those that did before me. I need to be walked by, you know what I mean? I'm completing their works. You know what I mean? I'm just the next installment of, God's works. They were part of the story. I'm part of, I'm just the next chapter of it. And, we all walk together through this. As they, you know what I mean? As they walked the land, I stood and watched. Dude, Egypt was hard to watch. You couldn't. I mean, just being an Egyptian god and then watching it happen later in time. Watching watching the beginning to the end. It's like, man, that was ugly. Well, let's see what's going on behind door number 2. Here's the fall of the next civilization. Who comes next? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Do you guys know what that song is about? Oh, yeah. My daughter told me this morning that everybody's freaking out about China refusing to send us stuff. I was like, oh shit, here comes the famine. Tried to tell you to grow some food, bro. It's gonna get scary, bro. It's gonna get scary, bro. Do you believe in God? Is your belief in God does He promise to take care of you? Or you're all on your own during these times and you gotta fend for yourself? A life for a life. Anything for you and your family, right? Watch it now. Hey, heavy duty. Laters, haters. Catch you tomorrow.